Hey everybody, and welcome back to Brutally Honest Reviews, only on the Brutally Honest Network. Here today with Rob and Justin, and we are the only people who saw Hunter Killer probably in the entire nation.
In the world,
someone's sharing it on YouTube.
Definitely that one person on YouTube sharing the whole movie.
Yeah, and they're paying him.
They didn't even hide
Let's
the
put
name.
It that way.
They didn't care at all.
I mean,
it have less views than this video.
Yeah.
It actually has more.
So
It's like 50.
Hunter Killer, I guess, like the plot is really shitty and really like not well developed. But basically the plot centers around a submarine captain who gets hired to board this vessel because there's another vessel, another submarine, an American submarine that was shot down in the beginning of the movie by the Russians, right? The Russians? It's been a while since I saw the movie. So, submarine in the beginning of the movie is shot down by the Russians, American submarine, and then they go to Gerard Butler, who's this, I guess, this world-renowned submarine captain, and they pilot the ship. First thing he does when he goes on the ship, he basically goes in the loudspeaker and tells everybody he's a giant douchebag. So that was a nice little warm opening.
You know, one thing I did like about this, though, like the very beginning, you know how in all those old 90s movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Arnold Schwarzenegger, they just played the American, kept their foreign accents, and nothing was ever said? At least they made a thing for Gerard Butler, how they picked him up in Scotland to kind of explain his weird accent.
This is true. So do you think that was something that was probably done just to explain the actor they wanted?
I think
stuck
so.
With casting.
I think so. Or at least I hope so.
I say stuck with casting because I don't think he was the first choice for this. I don't know. I thought he was the best actor in the movie
that they could have got,
but that's not saying much.
Which is weird because Gary Oldman's in it.
He is?
Yeah.
Who do you play?
He was the head commander guy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the douchey one, the one that kept getting mad.
Yeah,
no, that was him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't look like him at all. He was pretty good. He was just hateable.
I thought he sucked in this.
I mean,
pretty much everyone did.
The reason why he kind of got dragged down because you see him arguing with Common, who's like not even fucking showing emotion at all.
It's a coup. My favorite line in the whole movie, and they used it in the trailer.
Yeah.
If you've seen the trailer, you've seen this movie.
Yeah,
pretty much,
really.
Yeah.
Because we just played it back and I realized, wow, this is the whole plot.
Yeah, but it misses a huge part with the land soldiers.
They showed the drone, one of the
change.
unnecessary drone shots that I kept talking about the entire movie. There were a lot of them. There were a lot of cool ones, but there was also like a lot of drone shots that were kind of just put there to make up for shit they didn't have.
You know that nauseating shot that it had with Common and Gary Oldman where the camera was just following them around?
I fucking hated that
The day
shot.
after I watched that, they did that in A Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah, but they did it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was watching, I was like, wow, so this is what it looks like if it's done right.
Well, see, the problem is, first of all, there's two problems with that. The reason why it didn't work in Hunter Killer is because, A, they didn't have any kind of music build up, like any kind of score build up with it. So it kind of fell flat. And then even if it didn't have even if it didn't have a score, if it at least had quality acting, you would any kind of a build, you didn't have anything. Yeah. You didn't have an acting build, you didn't have a music build. They were just kind of here's this shot of this really tense argument that kind of just looks like it's a robot.
Falls flat.
Yeah. And Jesus Christ, did they fucking go around him 20 times?
Fast too.
Yeah, they clearly could have cut to so many other fucking things. They had an entire rotunda room that they were using. Yeah. It's probably just a built set. They could have done anything they wanted.
Maybe they didn't have enough money to reshoot, and the thing was on a track above them, and it just kept going faster and faster. Like,
They just lost control of
fuck it, we'll keep it.
That'd be pretty irresponsible. But yeah, let's give our first initial responses to this one. Let's start with Justin this time.
My initial response.
You really liked it. You thought it was really cool, and it was just like Battlefield.
Whose words are those?
They almost were yours. You said it was kind of like Battlefield.
I ultimately liked it at the redeemed ending, but
Yeah, it had a good third act.
I was kind of
Yeah.
with you, like, wow, this movie's fucking stupid. And it was truly so dumb from start to kind of like 3/4. Especially with that lady. I don't remember who she is, but that lady that just comes in and starts dicking around everybody.
Lady with a dick?
I hope not. Can't say that
Tasteless.
No, you can't actually. No.
anymore. It's too judgmental.
Yeah,
Am
I
I
don't
mixing
even know your
films?
pronoun.
Zimmer is fine.
So,
I figured my point.
Did you like it a lot?
No. I kind of forgot about it already.
yeah.
So that probably says a lot more about it than how I felt when I was like sitting in the theater.
I remember certain shots, and I also remember certain things about it I hated. Like, I guess some parts really did stand out, like, for some reason, I guess.
Some parts were really good. I thought some
Yeah,
parts of the cinematography were great.
Well, the action was good
Yeah, the action was
once
amazing.
it actually got going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just took too long to get going.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I think once they captured I'm not gonna go too far. Once they just captured the Russians, or they saved the Russians, I should say, the first set of Russians, that's when I started to give a shit about the story. But up until then, I was like, this can end now. That'd be great.
It was so bad.
But then they got to like actually exposition. I was like, this.
They failed at any of the story building. It was more so like just the action sequences that were really...
Which
really
is weird,
strong.
because if you break it down, there actually could be a good story in there.
Yeah.
I think the premise is good.
Yeah.
It's silly as
This
all
would
fuck.
this
but-
would have been a good late 80s, early 90s movie.
Yeah, but no, it's a World War III kind of let's not make this happen movie, which is just weird given...
Why the fuck are they
climate.
poking the bear? We don't need World War III, so let's go make a movie about
Yeah,
it.
that's another thing I was thinking the
fucking
entire time.
stupid. It's
Well, I
probably
think
written by a Frenchman.
their point at the end, which is probably why it got funded, ironically, was probably that, see, the Americans and the Russians eventually became friends. So this is what they were sold
So it was
on.
written by Barney?
Yeah,
Barney and
exactly.
Friends?
The
stupid.
clouds are candy, and grass is marmalade. I don't know.
Big Bird's just
They're
sitting
living
there
in a
like...
fantasy world.
Yeah, Big Bird's just sitting there like, save the Russian president because he would need saving. The dude that would kill anybody for any reason. Probably me tonight for making that comment. Fuck you, Putin. I
So
probably smell like fish.
No, he smells like deer urine.
Doesn't matter, their language is confusing and their text is awkward. They're always
it
angry.
is awkward.
That's a lot coming from a German.
What? So you loved it? Basically, what you're saying.
So what you're saying is it was amazing.
Best movie of the
No,
year.
okay. The only thing I truly remember about this was that really big final action scene that we'll talk about later. And I literally screamed out loud, fuck yeah, in the theater. But it was okay because everybody else did too. Because I think...
Yeah, because you were the only one there.
Yeah,
I was with you two.
Nah.
you can't see us like John Cena. That's not even funny.
And ironically, that's funny.
So you didn't like it, obviously.
I didn't love it.
You didn't. Okay.
I don't remember it. I didn't love it, but there were parts that I liked. That wasn't helpful.
What do you think?
Yeah, Rob.
Well, for the first 3/4 of the movie, you and I were just talking shit about it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I groaned a couple times, like, ugh, when corny-ass dialogue was said, because at certain points it was bad. His inspirational douchebag speech was stupid. That whole scene with the coin was stupid.
Is the coin he holds on to for some reason, right?
I guess it must be some sort of tradition to give your sub-commander some sort of coin. He's like, no, thanks. I got one. Like,
Yeah,
alright,
I
I'll
didn't
go
pick up
fucking
on-
throw this in the water now.
I didn't pick up on why it was sentimental to him, but I knew it was.
You'd probably have to be, like, deep into submarine lore for that shit. I don't know. I'll ask someone who's been on a submarine.
Deep into submarine lore.
Yeah.
What I think made that what made kind of those scenes weirder was the such little exposition about his like him and his background and anything like that, and the story never really filled that in.
See, I think he was a drunk in Thailand and he lived above a bar. Oh wait, no, that's Jason Statham in The Meg.
I thought that was me.
Okay,
Fuck,
good point.
Dad.
So you loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
Solid. Great. Fucking awesome.
So
It was an amazing pile of shit.
Stupendous.
I hated this movie, but there are a lot of good action scenes, and they pulled a lot of cool shots that it seemed like their cinematographer or whoever edited the movie or whoever oversee editing of the movie didn't understand how film works or something, because they do have a lot of shots that generally would work, like the very painful circling shot in the beginning when they circle Common and Gary Oldman. That shot would have worked, as I said, if they had any kind of like actor build up, like if any kind of directing was done to Common. I don't understand. Or they could have used the build up with music, which obviously would have worked, and they also could have cut that short or cut to like a wide shot or something. Like, I don't understand why everything was so tight. I think they were trying to make like he was a shark circling him, kind of, but Common had no response.
I think you're just reading too much into it. They thought it was cool, and it just didn't work.
Because when you see a shot that's stupid, you're kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're gonna be like, why did they do this? It has to be some other reason. But
Yeah,
then,
I mean, I could clearly see the reason. They were just trying to build suspense, but it wasn't a suspenseful part.
But they don't understand how things work.
No, I'm with you. I'm saying they did it wrong. I'm just saying they were trying to build suspense.
and it went on for way
There's
too long.
no other reason you would really do that shot unless you were just trying to build suspense or anxiety or something like that.
Yeah.
But there was nothing about that scene to be anxious or excited or anything about, because you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
They circled those two motherfuckers for a good minute.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, way too long.
It went on for far too long, 15, 30 seconds tops.
You know what I actually really hated though? Like first of all, I hated all of the submarine, all of like the lesser submen. I don't know what you call them. Seamen?
Semen.
It's like you didn't want to say it, but it was true.
Oh no, you wanted to say it.
Semen.
So I hated all of them. But what was more annoying is
You
I
hate
think
the semen?
I hate the seamen.
They were all over the place.
But the whole movie, the lighting in that sub was pretty kind of flat.
See, now you put me in a real sticky situation here about the semen.
How many puns?
No, I just wanted to say that I had.
Oh. Oh, that would have been better if you went to a point.
I know, I tried, but this movie
I
just
feel
sucks.
like it was definitely shot in a submarine.
Either that or
That's a
a
lot
really
of it.
small hallway.
It's hard to tell. These companies have so much money. They build crazy
You could
shit.
have set it or green screen the fuck out of that.
I don't know if you could fit a camera crew in a submarine.
Did you know that most of the descent, they built most of the cave on this weird rotating thing that was like almost like NASA that rotated. So like when she climbed, the camera wouldn't move, the whole set would move, and it created that effect.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
This isn't.
I don't think they did that. I think they might have shot in the sub.
I think it's just a small hallway. Cause
Yeah.
I seriously don't know if you can put a camera crew down there. Subs are tight.
Oh no, it would be on the surface.
No, I mean just in a submarine in general.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh yeah, you're right.
Cause that shit's tight.
To build out a camera and have it shoot in there, the way they build out cameras, like for like professional films, there's no way. That was a
Hardcore
sub.
Henry was shot on GoPros. I'm not putting it past.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this
that was
wasn't.
cool.
No, I know this definitely wasn't.
That was cool.
I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't
It's
seen
on
it either.
Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on my list. I'm just slow.
I'm gonna have to add that. But there was a couple cool shots later in the movie. We'll talk about later.
Or sooner.
But they had like excessive drone shots too. Like
You were so salty about
I
every
was
drone shot.
because
You could
half
hear
of
him
them-
groan.
No, he started whispering over me. He's like, "What the fuck is this for?"
Yeah.
Well, you actually weren't whispering at some points. You were just straight mad as fuck. And I'm like, "This needs to exist. Stop yelling."
It didn't.
But it didn't need to exist in every time it happened.
The
Because it
act-
happened a lot.
I feel like every time they entered a scene with the sub, they started it with a drone shot. Like where it went from, I don't know if it's a control room to a sub scene, it drone and then like zoomed into the sub.
I might not have noticed any of that because I didn't find
I'm
that.
just guessing.
I didn't find.
I don't remember.
I didn't find that probably a problem because that felt normal.
That didn't. That the drone didn't bother me because I mean
If it's
I
a
don't
drone
film.
transition shot, it's like whatever. But some of these ones where it's just like, let's show the landscape of some random fucking
We had
place.
the
That's what I was
budget to
talking
go to
about.
Russia.
Some of those were very much, hey, we have B-roll. Where are we gonna put it? Can't make a music video. We already made traffic.
Yeah. There was too much like drone establishing shot and then cutting into like a building. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I was too busy laughing at the shitty dialogue to really notice that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the dialogue was really bad at some points.
It was.
And no one in this movie acted well.
No.
But Gerard
even think I
Butler was
remember
the
almost.
best.
Which is terrible.
Yeah, he
say
shouldn't
that.
be your top dog.
Yeah. That's a sinking sub, if you know what I
That is
mean.
a shot fired. Yeah. Ooh, puns for days.
Oh, this fucking movie.
So let's go through the movie a little bit. So Gerard Butler's already in the sub that he's commandeering to try to go figure out what happened to the other American sub. They find the American sub and it's all fucked up. And then they find some Russians.
They're all dead.
All the Americans are dead, yeah, and the other submarine. Then they find some Russians who start firing on them almost immediately. Who basically, so what happened is one of like the sub commanders or general or from Russia conspired basically to just start a war, but he basically tried to position himself to look like the hero. And at the same
just
time,
defending Russia.
right, and then slowly at the same time, he was able to kidnap the Russian president, to be able to basically have him lie and say that he's indisposed and he's taking care of all affairs.
Yeah.
So it's basically one crazy Russian commander's, power trip. Basically, he's short too, so they should add that.
Yeah.
Napoleon complex. So they get fired on from the top of the ice sheet.
They're in like the middle of an iceberg.
Yeah. What?
Just weird.
But that's what it's probably like over there.
I don't know.
You don't think Russia has ice?
No, they do. I'm just saying I didn't think icebergs worked like that.
They float.
Oh, like that was
They're
just
also far underwater.
that was just like an ice sheet though.
Okay.
Like that wasn't like. Also, icebergs can be all different sizes. Pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, like Titanic got fucked
You're
up by a
not
bad one,
biologists.
but
We're all iceberg scientists now.
I'm not.
well,
You guys are on this wild trip.
Fuck it.
No.
Who cares? This movie's stupid.
it was stupid. So
I don't want to think too much about that.
the Russians fire and miss. The Americans then find the other Russian sub. There's another Russian sub that the evil lieutenant fired friendly fire on the other Russian sub. For what reason?
No,
He set up. Hold on, I can explain. He set it up.
Oh, it's from inside.
He set it up so that while the Americans were in Russian soil just patrolling, that they would sacrifice one of their own subs to make it seemed like the Americans shot first, so that they could justify shooting down an American sub to then
Right.
start a war, because they knew Americans would only respond as such. And then that's how they got to where we're talking about now.
Yeah. I forgot completely about the interior, like the bomb that went off.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because I mean, that hidden sub sunk the American sub. Why couldn't they just sink the Russian sub? They just still killed tons of Russian seamen. Not calling them sailors.
They're not sailors, technically.
Well,
So-
that's why I'm not doing it.
If you know anything about subs, which I'm sure you do, you're well educated in
Extensive
seamen.
knowledge.
He owns 6 himself.
So much knowledge.
His family builds them.
Ask me questions, go.
Why are they shaped like dicks?
I don't think I was going in that
It's
direction
fun.
actually, but they kind of like if someone was watching this and knew things about subs, which now we kind of know by watching this movie, the Russian the Russian sub that got sunk by friendly fire, all those people that were still alive that got picked up by Gerard Butler's American sub, they would not have been alive if that was actually hit by a torpedo. No way. But because it was interior, they knew that's how they're able to lock themselves off. I think.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not really sure how that works. But I don't know if that might have been like a hint to like,
I don't
hey,
think
maybe
the
it was-
Russians in the sub knew about it
No.
because they got help from the other Russian sub commander.
Yeah, but they like on their like perimeter scanner or whatever the fuck they use, it would have told them like, hey, there's like a leak in this sector, like close it off. And then they close it off.
Maybe.
But like torpedo, maybe like it could overwhelm, like it could be just more damage. I don't know. It's not really important.
Ask the sub builders.
Yeah.
Is anyone out there that knows someone? Let us
Build
know.
subs. Come advertise on our channel.
So the Americans, Gerard Butler picks up these Russian
Seaman.
seamen, and they kind of have like this weird interaction in like the back room where
Where they kiss.
yeah, they're interrogating him. Gerard Butler's interrogating him, basically, kind of like low key interrogating him. And the entire time I was like, it looks like they're gonna kiss, because it was just like it just looked like a couple of lovers like they were just like mad at each other for like eating the last cheeseburger in the bag or something. Like I don't know, something stupid like. It's like a stupid, like it was like a stupid lovers fight, and it just seemed really like lame and weird, and I don't know. And then there was like a general understanding from seaman to seaman,
Yeah.
and
There's an exchange of fluids.
there's exchange
less
of
adults.
fluidity. Fluidity is the word you're searching for. So Gerard Butler on this 1 minute interaction with this Russian commander, he decides that he is more trustworthy than any person in his entire crew. So he goes out there and he basically tells his crew that, hey, this Russian guy is going to help us. He's not going to blow us up. Totally not. Not even because those other Russians fired on us. Don't worry, this one's a good Russian. So he ends up telling the truth and helping them. I did find it funny that seaman, what's his name?
Singular, it's
no
jizz.
no name seaman number 3. All right, you've crossed the line.
I
So.
don't think jizz is singular. I don't really want to analyze that too much.
So the Russian commander guides their sub basically through a safe zone.
Secret passage, yeah, that only Russians know about.
Right. Oh, before that they're commissioned. Do you want to kind of go into how they were hired to get the Russian president?
Yeah, so it's so hard to draw this shit back. So the Americans sent over this kind of mercenaries team. I don't know.
Are they? I think they're SEALs.
Yeah, they have to
Yeah.
be SEALs. Send over these group of
Badass.
Group of 4 Navy SEAls,
Neck
which would have been a
tattoos.
much better. Only one of them had neck tattoos.
He was cool.
Rob wanted to fuck that one.
I don't even remember that one.
Whatever. Send these guys over to to analyze what's going on with the Russians, because this entire time the Americans have no clue what's going on. And so they're reconning and getting info and all of this stuff and sending it back to Mother America.
And then they oversee.
I don't know the story that well.
Remember, when they oversee the killing of like a bunch of like high.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
witnessed the coup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they witnessed the coup.
Coincidentally, just in the nick of time, they literally see just when they're shot.
Yeah, they get there as the
Movie
deed's
magic.
going down.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, and then the Americans basically set up or was it Common? Ooh, his one redeeming role in this was to get the president to agree. Shut up. He got the president to agree to let the SEAL team rescue the Russian president.
As underwhelmingly as possible.
Oh my god.
I've never been
so underwhelming.
so far from the edge of my seat in my entire life.
Because you were so far in the back of it.
Yeah.
He looks so weird without a goatee.
Yeah.
Like frightening.
He looks like one of the robots in iRobot.
Kinda.
Oh,
Freaky.
okay.
Or like one of those things from South Park that took their jobs.
He kind of looked a lot like he was given the script.
The Durkadurs.
I didn't remember.
He looks like he was given the script like 10 minutes before
He
shot.
was.
And he's just like, this is fucking stupid, you know? I'm gonna read it. He read it. And it was like, all right.
I'll do it.
Yeah, a lot of the parts where when Common was arguing with Douchebag 1 and President 2, and I don't really fucking care, it was just so non-memorable because I don't know what they were talking about.
The dialogue was shit.
He had like an
It didn't sell
in-between, like what was that lady's role? What was her role in it? 'Cause she was like she was very terrible.
I don't
overall, but-
remember if they actually said she just showed up.
Yeah,
That's
Was
she,
she
That's
from
what I
the
was talking
NSA?
I think she was the NSA, but I don't know what the fuck she was
Because she
doing.
showed them secret NSA codes.
She popped into scene. They made jokes about like, who the fuck are you? I'll fuck your mom. Like these kind of dumb things. I don't even know. That could be
They
true.
did?
I don't know. It could be true.
What do you mean could be true? We saw the movie.
We don't remember the movie. Clearly. What I'm just saying was the dialogue was so pointless, make up your own. I'm ad-libbing.
But she came in and I don't remember why.
I
Yeah.
don't think there was a reason. Maybe no, I kind of remember.
Common type woman. I don't know.
Common
Maybe.
type woman.
Maybe.
It was pretty uninteresting. But so yeah, they convince the American to let them go try to kidnap the president from the kidnappers.
Save the president from the kidnappers.
Save the president from the kidnappers. Well, essentially it's the same thing, but I
mean, technically, you could break it down that way.
yeah.
I mean, maybe.
So meanwhile,
Let's not sound semantics of this nonsense so long.
circling back to what I started saying earlier, the Russian lieutenant on the submarine with Gerard Butler is guiding the submarine through basically all of like the booby traps
Booby twaps.
in Russian territory. They eventually find out that he's telling the truth. You clearly can tell by all of the acting talent you can see in that subtle Russian gaze. That's the only response in the
All
entire
communicating without words.
film. Yeah.
That was a lot of just like, I trust you. You trust me?
I could not believe Gerard Butler is like the person who could like see beyond like a dialogue. Like it was just weird. It was too much of like the staring and I don't know. It was powerful at some points, but it's kind of like mad.
Staring, nodding, grunting, farting. All bunch of bodily sounds. That's how they talk in subs.
Wait, who gets? It's the team on the ground that ends up getting the Russian president back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they break in. No, they find one of the guys that was quote unquote assassinated.
Yeah.
Washed up on shore. They get into this little bullshit scuffle that didn't need to really exist. And then they miraculously trust each other, and they go save the fucking president. And it's like really not that. Anything that happens there is weird.
Well, there were a lot of subtle moments that happened. The first one being that after they had their like little love-hate relationship, the ginger guy and the tattooed kid, the tattooed kid ends up like when they're kind of hiding out in that oil rig and hiding, and that Russian soldier just shoots up there for the fuck of it because he's Russian.
Him in the butt.
Shoots him in the butt. He's injured. They leave him behind when they go save the president. The other two that are not the ginger or the tattooed kid die in pretty shitty ways.
Pretty unmemorable ways.
Yeah, they get shot the fuck up.
A lot of those scenes piss me off because I'm sitting there like, this guy is the guy that was shooting them over and over again was why? How the fuck do you always know where they are?
He's good.
No! Bullshit. Because he's not talked about fucking once. Like, his character is pointless.
Yeah.
Except just to have a reason to kill off X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And this just annoyed me.
He's an assassin.
It didn't need that hero plot. Or that, like, anti-hero plot, I mean. It felt like a forced dynamic that didn't need to exist in this already I don't want to say compelling, but its story alone was enough.
It was forced, but at the same time, I think it was the most believable out of any of the other shit. No other relationship was believable.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like Common and any other character.
Common and everybody.
Gerard Butler
Common versus the world.
Gerard Butler and that shitty
Russian
shitty Siemens.
Shitty seamen.
Yeah, they couldn't act.
Ugh.
Well, that's not I don't think it was that they couldn't act so much as that they just were not memorable. None of the dialogue given to them was memorable. Their characters were pretty
It was shittily written.
And yeah, very bad.
Dialogue was trash, you can say it. Weren't necessarily bad actors, but weren't given much to work with.
I want to talk about two cool parts though. Like in the third act, right before the ginger kid comes back to rescue the tattooed kid in the woods, when they're leading up to this whole thing, the three of the soldiers, when they're still alive, are kind of pinned down, and then all of a sudden we see these sick ass drone shots that zoom in and become single shots on the tattooed kid sniping out Russians from the woods. That was badass.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that scene was cool because that scene created that was one of the few scenes that
tight butthole.
Tight butthole.
Yeah,
words are diarrhea right now.
Yeah,
that was a really well shot sequence.
Actually,
I always
the
loved
parts
shit like that.
I can think of a few parts that created a lot of stress, but it all happened like that was one. That was probably the first one, and then the next one was when they were being shot at by the ship.
The
towards the end.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, and the
Russian
Russian captain was trying to save them. I was like, that was just extra tight butthole.
Yeah.
Like coal could make diamond butthole.
Yeah, like without going into too much detail, basically, I'm just gonna say there was basically like a stalemate between Russians and the Americans, and everybody was trying to figure out what to do.
For a bit, yeah.
Sequence.
Because apparently the Russian sub-commander trains everybody in the Russian Navy.
No, he might have just specifically trained that shit.
Everybody is trained by this man.
Right,
it was a really funny thing because like this entire movie we're like trying to figure out, oh my god, how are we gonna stop this situation? And then the Russian's like, oh yeah, I probably know all those guys. Like, why didn't you tell him, like, why didn't you try that first? Like, I don't get it.
I don't remember how he knew. Yeah, you're right.
It's because of the ship's name. It's like, oh, I personally trained all those men.
How'd they find out the ship's name?
You can read.
Oh, did
Underwater?
they only know?
Yeah, why not?
Did they only know when they saw the ship? Because
I don't know. They might have identified themselves.
You're probably right about that, maybe.
They must have.
Because, I mean, they had contact with home base saying, oh, blah, 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 shooting on you. Or
Yeah, that's too stupid a thing to just end up being like, oh, you could just call them and tell them, hey,
Yeah.
I love you guys.
What's good?
So, what? So who ends up? There's a warship that comes in that ends up getting gunned the fuck down. The Russian warship gets gunned down by the other Russian warship, I believe, right? And that's the scene where we were like, oh shit, because it's a.
No, that's the Russian command center gets gunned down by the gunship.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you sure? I thought that was a bomb.
No, they launched
Fuck are you guys
A
talking
torpedo.
about?
when
the
the Russian guy was like, "Oh, if they won't do it, I'll do it myself."
Oh, and he
So he
launches the
decides
missiles?
to launch the missiles from land, and they're like, "You know what? Fuck this guy." And then they launched on him, and he died.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
literally what happened was, since you're fucking conflating this, was the crazy Russians set off the missiles to blow up the sub. Then the Russian warship saved the sub by shooting out the missiles. That's when I screamed, "Oh fuck!"
that was the one. It would kill.
Yeah.
It shot the missiles.
Yeah, they shot the missiles
but
out
it
of the
fucked
air.
it up with like the machine guns on the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah, the machine guns shot the missiles out of the air as they were about to
Obliterated
hit.
them.
And then the American sub launched the missiles at
This command
the
center.
command center,
Killing
which was
that
like the
stupid
greatest maybe 2-3 minutes of that film,
Yeah,
Probably.
without question.
But
I've
then
never
they
been more
ended.
hyped.
They ended it bland though. I think.
I didn't hate the ending, but it was just a little soft penis.
I'm not even gonna continue on that one.
I like your reactions. Dumb shit I say. It's worth it.
Just a little soft penis.
Had to make it weirder.
So
Oh,
how,
yeah.
how did the movie end though? Like
It just
I know
ended.
No, it
it
didn't.
just ended.
It did not just end.
Yes, it did. Gerard Butler was standing on the submarine.
That's
like,
not just ending. That's a scene.
Oh, he gives
It
him the
just
fucking
ended.
coin.
Yeah.
And I wish I
was
leaned over
weird.
and he gives the Russian command. Gerard Butler gives the Russian commander his coin while they're standing on top of the submarine and like there's the water around and everything. And I leaned over to you and I said, "How funny would it be if he just fucking drops the coin in the water?"
I really wish he did. Fuck that coin.
Kind of one that makes me do
That
like a
scene didn't
parody.
matter.
If anybody
I don't
watched
know.
this.
Of course it didn't. That's why
No,
I
like,
said it
anything
just
that-
ended.
Yeah, anything that happened in it was irrelevant. It's like, of course they gave the president back. I would have kept him as leverage, but meh.
I think it'd be funnier if like the Russian like stabbed Gerard Butler at the end. And that's the end.
That would be so conflicting.
They're friends now.
Yeah, yes.
It did make an interesting point when he was trying to defend the Russian captain to his crew, being like, "We're the same. How are we any different? We're just taking orders from some douchebag at home, and all we're doing is doing our job as seamen." but
You do your job.
I thought that I like
Swim
that
around.
little dynamic.
Trying to penetrate enemy defenses.
We should just end this abruptly.
All right, so let's get final thoughts. Justin, you loved it. What do you think?
I loved it. It was top 4. Greatest movie of the year. Fuck Harry Potter. No. Well,
No, yeah, fuck Harry Potter.
no, we're not doing that. You're not doing that.
I am.
You're gonna alienate.
I just did it.
We're gonna be demonetized.
I like
We're not
Harry
even
Potter.
monetized.
Okay, fuck Harry Potter.
This guy.
Fuck Grindelwald. Fuck
Who's that?
I don't know. That's what the name of the movie is.
No movie's called Grindelwald.
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh,
that one.
Grundlewald.
Grindelwald.
The Crimes of Grundlewalds. I said
Potter-
Wald. Walls is better.
Harry Potter and the Crimes of Grindelwald. And the Lost Wipe. Fuck that movie.
You haven't even seen it.
Fuck Dumbledore. Fuck Jude Law.
What happened
Dumbledore's
to you?
well, the original one's dead.
Of course
yeah,
he
You gotta
is.
play the original one. Is Ian something? Ian,
It's old.
I forget his name.
I don't know. This movie was kind of okay. Don't go see it. Watch the trailer 3 times. You'll get it. And we already spoiled what the fuck happened that wasn't in it, so
Watch the trailer
Spoil
one time
everything.
and get it.
that's our job. We're talking about the movies.
It's also out of theaters, so.
It doesn't matter. It's
No, it's still there.
Is it really?
It is. It's
Yeah.
still there. But mid-90s isn't
Yeah, mid '90s should be. in
real
theaters.
salty about that.
We did see mid '90s. We'll still do a review of mid '90s.
I haven't seen Vincent Randolph yet. That's
It
not
is.
bad.
Told you it was.
You didn't tell me shit.
You gotta go see it today or tomorrow, though, because it's not gonna be there Thursday.
Yeah. Nobody fucking knows
I
about
already
it.
checked.
I could see it tomorrow.
There's only one showing tomorrow. It's at like 9:50.
Oh, that's late.
It's an 80-minute movie.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
It's not that bad.
It's 80 minutes long. It's
But
bare.
then I gotta pay to go see it.
So
I'll figure that
Do
out.
you wanna see
But
it?
Don't watch this movie.
give one hand job outside on the corner.
It's Randolph. I could. Rob, what'd you think about this movie?
But you didn't give it a fucking rating.
It doesn't deserve one.
You're
Doesn't deserve
circling around the semen, sir.
All right.
You need
Well,
to give them a proper review.
like my own, only about 6 semen. Gets about 6 now.
Too much Mountain Dew.
All of them. I don't think I've ever drank Mountain Dew.
I guess you
Bullshit.
can refuse to rate it. if
No,
it's that bad.
I'll rate it. It's
No,
not,
you
it's
can't.
not-
This isn't a democracy. It's a dictatorship.
Who's running the ship?
I don't know.
Not you.
I didn't say it
You'd
was.
fucking kill us for the jokes.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, if I have to number this thing, I'm probably gonna give it like a 6. And I think that's being kind of generous.
That is.
But only because of that gunship scene that got me like wicked amped for no reason, like a 14-year-old, like winning a COD match. That's just how I felt.
14-year-olds fish for cod.
God damn it! You stole my joke.
They could. What do I know? I'm not
We're
14.
not all Alaskans. We're not bush people.
Bushwalkies.
We got shit to do.
So what do you
Did
think?
we?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Some cool action scenes. Horrible acting.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst of the year, or Slender Man. Probably Slender Man.
Still did have
In terms
traffic.
of acting, I didn't see that fucking movie.
Oh, okay.
That definitely wins worst movie of the year.
Really?
Traffic.
Good.
I
Yeah.
still feel that was the worst movie I've seen.
Funny to watch?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna
No,
watch
it-
it. then.
Some of it was.
But
Some
yeah.
of it was funny. That was a movie that just was like, I'm gonna try to be really heavy and then just shit on the rug the whole time. Fucking awful.
If this movie didn't have a bunch of redeeming action scenes in it, I'd score it a lot lower. But I'm probably gonna score it like a 4, 4.5. Because the action scenes were good, but everything else was utter dog
You scored it
shit.
the same way I would have scored it. I just kind of gave it a little bit more merit.
Yeah, you're being a nice guy.
Being robbed.
You're more generous with your semen.
Giving it out to anybody.
Especially lately.
Anyone who wants it, doesn't want it.
I'm gonna die.
I think we needed a female on this podcast just to balance things
Kinda. Yeah, we wouldn't have made.
I will put on a wig. Sam's got one in there.
out. She does, actually.
Ah,
We should have did that for a Halloween episode.
Fuck it, it's Halloween all year. I'll wear a wig next episode. I don't give a
True.
shit.
True. We gotta do it. Get a proper timing. But anyway, I digress. This movie.
that's all we're doing is digressing.
I'm with you on that. I gave it a 4. Again, the only redeeming things, the only thing giving it a 4, are some of the cool like action sequences, some of the cool shots. But it doesn't really matter if you can't edit a fucking movie together correctly. So, 4. The acting was painful. Like I say that.
At points, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I groaned a couple times out loud. I was like, ugh.
I lost a little bit of respect for Common through this movie.
I never had any.
No, he's a pretty good rapper.
Whatever.
It's a great rapper.
Keanu Reeves whooped his ass.
Keanu Reeves did whip his ass.
John Wick.
Movie. Oh, I didn't see that one yet, actually. Yeah, I know it's bad. He hasn't. I gotta
You've
watch
got to
it.
be like the only person that's never seen John Wick.
No.
No, I'm not. Fuck you. Shut up.
Like, there's a second
They're
part to that. There
both
wasn't.
good. The first
I do
one
wanna
was
see
an
them, though.
utter surprise.
In what way? What do you mean? Like you
This
were
was-
surprised it was good?
Yeah.
I,
What was the last good movie Keanu Reeves had before that?
The Matrix.
Fucking 20 years ago.
He hasn't aged at all. That man's a vampire.
Of course he is, but when
No,
you
yeah, I guess
you
that's
see
your
the
point.
trailers for this movie's trailer, that movie's trailers came out 2 weeks before the fucking movie came
I
out.
disagree because I'm going to be a hipster. I think Keanu Reeves is really good in that vampire movie, Only Lovers
Dracula?
Left Alive. No. Only Lovers
Because
Left
he was in
Alive.
Dracula 2 with Gary Oldman.
He was. And he was very painfully bad in it. He was the only reason why.
Bill and Ted
only
Save the
thing
World? No?
that was bad in that.
I didn't see that movie you're talking about.
What?
John Wick's actually
The
straight
one I
up.
was mentioning. I
Yeah, I didn't see
I
that
was
one.
also mentioning Dracula too. I was saying that he was the only bad thing about that movie.
Yeah.
Because that movie is almost a masterpiece.
It's pretty good, except for him.
Yeah.
He's
John
still-
Wick's easily his best work he's ever done,
Yeah.
without question. John
I
Wick's
think-
some of the best
I-
action movie. I think John Wick is arguably the best action movie ever made.
No.
Yep.
That's really hard to say when you haven't seen the Raid or the Raid 2
Yeah,
yet.
the raid beats it.
Oh my god, the sucking
Still
Raid's dick round
still hasn't
50.
fucking seen it.
Because I don't know where it is.
This guy, give
everywhere.
him, a, give him
I
a
have it.
big generous thumbs down.
If you watch John Wick 1 and
Give this
2,
whole video a thumbs down. So we never
John
make
Wick
any
1
money.
and 2, the first one's better, second one's still good. The Raid 1 and 2, the first one's great, second one's better. Raid 1 and 2 were probably the best action movies, definitely of our generation. Easily.
Best I've seen, at least. I know you've seen more than I have.
I haven't seen one better.
Yeah.
John Wick's good. It's probably definitely top 10.
I mean,
of our
I'm not about to
generation,
go
like-
down the path of why I said that, because then we turn this into a John Wick episode, and Evan hasn't seen them. What I just kind of meant was that John Wick's, the style in which John Wick was
Fantastic.
shot pretty much changed every action movie thereafter it, in a very positive way. There's deeper. I gotta read back into it to figure out why I feel that way, because I can't remember. But it's shot unlike almost any other action movie for a very long time. Well, no, ever.
Well, it's more grounded in realism.
It is, but it's also grounded in like very fast-paced shots, very
I
very
loved it.
tight, fast, quick, in-your-face shots.
The club scene was
Tight in your face.
fantastic.
tight, red like semen.
Tight like semen.
I don't know. It doesn't
Jesus.
make sense. I don't know. I like John Wick.
Could I go to the doctor?
So
I'm not insurance.
let's wrap this shitty movie up, though. So
In
we
gift
already
wrapping,
rated
it's
it.
almost
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Don't see it. Or, you know what? No, don't see it. But
Don't spend money on it.
don't. It's not worth it for the action shots, though, because you have to watch so much of the shitty movie to get
So
to
much
them.
bullshit
Yeah. I wish
for
you could
very
just,
little payoff.
I wish you could just like click on the movie and just like skip shitty parts.
It's called the trailer.
You have like
No,
you have,
because
like,
they don't
3
show the
shots.
best parts in the trailer.
I know.
No,
They just show.
They also don't show the worst parts in the trailer either.
Yeah, they do.
they do, but you don't realize how bad they are at the time
Yeah, I guess.
because they show a little bit of that rotating.
Yeah, just like 5 seconds
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
the entire hour and a half of it.
Yeah. But yeah, anything to plug this week?
Like, rate, review, subscribe, share. That's it.
Check out our Facebook page where we're talking a lot of shit about a lot of different things way too often and dragging my ass under the boat every post. Thanks,
not-
guys.
That's not the point. It's
I know,
whatever.
I'm kidding.
Is that
whatever
a saying?
news is coming out.
But we are definitely having some cool
Is that
discussions.
is
there.
that a saying?
What?
Under the boat?
It's under the bus, I think.
It is.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
He's got a head. for
Everything I
the scene
say,
right
they
now.
can tear it apart. My existence is bleak and pointless.
I'll probably cut that out.
No, I'm gonna drag him under the boat, drown him. Deep water, submarine.
Let me
That's a
hit
good
the
point.
rudder. Fuck this
Yeah.
life.
Okay, so thanks for watching Brutally Honest Reviews, only on the Brutally Honest Network. Stay tuned. We are more active on our Facebook, finally, so come check us out. We're posting any cool, relevant news we find, letting you guys know what's coming out soon. Streaming, movies, at the movies, whatever you like. We also have another show coming out soon called Jump Cuts. Another show coming out soon based on music that's not titled currently, and another show in the works that's going to be a beer show, and yet one more show which is actually going to be being filmed soon. It's going to be an office-style comedy series, live action, so that'll be pretty cool. Stay tuned for that. That being said, have a good week, and we will see you next week. Peace.